Hello learners, this is Habiba with Excel with me. If you like the video, please do like, share, subscribe and comment below. Let's start today's class, that is Research in Education, with the topic Techniques of Research. In the previous class, we have discussed about the two techniques, that is observation and interview. We have clearly understood about both the techniques. Today we are going to discuss about the third technique, that is projective techniques. So let's start with projective techniques today. Now what are projective techniques? Projective testing techniques were originally developed in the 1960s for use in the field of clinical psychology in the domain of psychology. They refer to a type of personality test actually that exposes participants to a series of ambiguous stimuli such as images or words. So these projective techniques are originally developed in 1960s, as we have understood what purpose they have developed for clinical psychology. Now what is the purpose of this projective test? To evoke emotional responses from the participant. Why? To study their attitudes, traits, behavior. So with these projective technique tests, what the researcher or psychologists, what they want to know, they want to study about the emotions related to maybe attitudes, what are their traits, how they behave, all those things they want to understand through these projective techniques. These tests are expected to reveal an individual's unconscious desires and apprehensions. Some unconscious desires are there in our brain, we never able to express in front of anyone, that these psychologists want to bring them out. Now psychologist Daniel Kahneman opined that the human brain makes thousands of decisions every single day. Obviously, if you are not discussing with somebody or talking to somebody, the brain will be working and our thought process is continuously in work. So every single day, thousands of decisions our brain makes. These include maybe small decisions or more complex decisions. Small decisions such as what to wear, what to eat, which routine to take to work, or what we are going to do during the day. All these are the small decisions. Even for school children, to do the homework, when you go to the school, what things you have to do, what could be our class work, everything that will be for decisions. And for teachers, what to teach. For doctors, how to treat the patients and all. Lawyers, how to win over the cases and all. Like small decisions, day-to-day routine work, they will take the decisions. Now more complex decisions such as purchasing a new car, moving to a new city, all these kinds of maintaining relationships with our neighborhoods or our maybe siblings, all these things comes under more complex decisions which the brain has to work. If our brain were to process all of these decisions continuously, it would become easily overburdened with information. Obviously, when our brain gets tired, we won't be able to take any decision. So therefore, several decisions and the motivations that inspire them are processed in our unconscious mind. Few decisions the brain doesn't able to take. So what happens? They will remain in our unconscious mind. Now people may not always be consciously aware of the unconscious motivations behind their actions. So the information gathered from projective testing is used by psychotherapists to gauge the causes of an individual's mental turmoil and consequently design appropriate interventions. So these counselors, these psychologists, what they do, they perform these projective techniques to bring out those unconscious things from the brain, because sometimes those individuals may go in stress. So they take the help of these psychologists or counselors so that they can find out the causes of these individual mental turmoil, or what are the consequences for that, how to design appropriate interventions they will decide. So projective techniques are also popular in conducting market research aimed at understanding consumer behavior. So what would be the consumer behavior if the researcher want to understand in the business field? They will take such kind of projective tests. Now, how do projective tests work? Now, projective testing involves exposing an examinee to a series of ambiguous stimuli. Example, they may be shown an image and asking them to provide their unique individual responses upon perceiving the stimuli. So each individual have their own perceptions and their own thinking, so perseverance also. So if somebody gives me one image, I can narrate one story and some other individual can narrate some other story. So these projective tests, what they involve, the examinee to a series of ambiguous stimuli like image and ask them to provide their perception. This is done in order to prevent biases on the part of the examinee. So there won't be any bias. The ambiguity of the stimuli does not give the person any hints as to what an acceptable answer to the question is, which is the case with other structured forms of psychological testing. So what happens? The ambiguity of the stimuli does not give the person any hints at all what to say. The individual's his or her own perception, their answers should be. So for example, in interviews or self-reports, individuals tend to provide answers that may be more socially acceptable and may even alter their responses based on how they react to their answers. So what happens here? In any interview or self-reports, individuals, they provide answers that may be socially acceptable. We won't give our own perception. Even we accept all the things what are coming socially from our ancestors. We react based on them. So on the other hand, ambiguous stimuli cause people to reveal their true feelings here. If we are using these projective techniques, what happens? The people reveal their own feelings, true feelings, by seeing those images. There won't be any already predetermined perceptions here, which are considered a more reliable measure of their unconscious thoughts and behavior. Obviously, if we are not taking those socially accepted things and giving the answer, if we want the genuine perception of any person, these projective techniques or images can give their own perception, thinking, thoughts, whatever are there in their brain. So we will discuss the next part here, types of projective techniques, in the next class in detail about all these projective techniques given here: association techniques, construction techniques, completion techniques, choice ordering techniques, or arrangement and selection tests, expression techniques. So if you like the video, please do like, share, subscribe and comment below. Thanks for your attention and time. Happy learning.